everybody. Welcome to, yeah, that's right, another edition of the Wrap-Up. Dan Myers, Nick Buckler with you. That's right, as always. Dan, the Red Wings, they're going to top our stories today, and it's not for the good.
No, it's not. He came into the office pretty upset with most Red Wings are. Red Wings fans are upset with what's going on. Clearly, the product that they're throwing on the ice right now is anything but good, and it's pretty bad. I know you want to probably elaborate and what's going on. You're there firsthand. You see what most common fans don't see. What can you tell us, Nick?
I've been holding back because I'm just hoping that they turn it around and that they start winning some games, because I mean it's too early in the year to be eliminated, but they are well on their way. I mean, you lose the first two, and then you come back and look so strong in the next 6 games, and they're 6-2. And since then, they're 2-8-1. I mean, it's abysmal. The showing, they're so lackadaisical out there. When they were in that winning streak, they were fast, they were physical, they were sticking up for each other. And now it's just like, whatever happens, happens. The pace of the game is so slow, and it's so boring. And their defense is so invisible. If it wasn't for good goaltending from, that's right, Jimmy Howard, who has started 6 of the last 7 games for the Red Wings, who knows where this team would be? They're already 1 point away from being in last place in the division, as well as the conference. The reason I say they have some hope is because it's so early in the year. There's still time for the GM to make a move. Hello, make a move. Bring someone in. Get rid of some folks. Trim the fat. A trade involves talent on both sides. You have to give up something to get something in return. And to me, Thomas Tatar and Gus Nyquist, sorry, you're on the block. These guys are supposed to be 30-goal scorers, and in the last year and a half, they have been no short of disappointing. And the Red Wings are one of the few things in life that I love. I get crushed when they lose. When they're eliminated from the playoffs, don't talk to me. Don't even bring up the Red Wings. I'm mad now when people say, oh, what's wrong with your Red Wings? Oh, I didn't realize I owned them. And if I wanted to talk about it with you, I would. But guess what? I don't. So don't ask me, because I don't have an answer for you. You watch the games just as much as I do. You tell me what's wrong with them. You already know. You're just trying to get a rise out of me. And guess what? It worked. Okay? What's wrong? What's wrong with your Reds? They're done. The playoff streak's over. Oh, okay. That's great. Happy that you asked me and told me what I'm going to say. So congrats to you, little Jimmy.
Yeah, it's frustrating. And, I do feel for you, walking around the office, the studio, you are the go-to Wings analyst / extraordinaire. And it's unfortunate when times are like this that you have that title. It's great when they're winning and they're doing, they're...
Did you just give me that title out of nowhere? Huh?
Maybe I did. Sorry. But like you said, yes, it's heartbreaking. It's the Wings are, hockey is something that I truly love. More importantly, I love the Wings. Brought up playing hockey since even before I could walk. And just to see this team suffer like it is, it's bringing back eerily reminiscent of like the early 90s Dead Wings era. Not that it's that bad, but the hope level it's still a lot higher than it was. But when you see star players not performing, when you have the talent that should be performing, not doing it, the power play is abysmal. Oh. The shots on net is just one of many problems that continues to avalanche and just completely get bigger. At least they are doing pretty good. I was looking at some of the stats from the past, probably 12 games. And, face-off wins are huge. They were always pretty good at that. But that's
not this year.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at their wins versus the teams they were playing per game, and they were doing pretty good with that. They did struggle. But it's ironic that the shots on net, weren't that much higher than the opponent when they won these 2 games against the Flyers and the Canucks.
I got one problem. Well, okay, there's a lot of problems. But the one that comes up is they don't shoot the puck. Ever. And like you always say, I don't want to be the shoot the puck guy. But you have to be. You look at these teams that win, and they get 40, 50 shots every night. The Red Wings are struggling to get 25. And you cannot score if you do not shoot. I mean, it's 100%. It's just a fact. Wayne Gretzky said you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
Well, look at the Red Wings, second to last place. The power play, they get like one shot when they control the puck in their zone the whole time and just pass. Anyone could pass all the time. I mean, look at Zetterberg. Guy could be in on a breakaway and he's looking to pass.
Yeah.
Come on. You can't score and you can't win if you do not shoot. Okay? In wins, they get outshot. In losses, obviously, they're getting outshot. It's been very few games this year they've outshot an opponent. I'm saying like 3, maybe. And they're lucky to have 8 wins.
Yeah.
And injuries have been huge, but you're not getting production from players who are there. The players who they've called up have been the spark. The Manthas, the Bertuzzi, the Athanasiou guys. Now Athanasiou's out 2 more weeks. They just get Thomas Vanek back. Hopefully he shakes off the rust from his long drought that he had. You lose Helm, who's speedy but not worth $3.85 million. I mean, Marchenko's now out, which is fine. It's just, come on. You know, it's frustrating. Something has to get done. Kenny Holland, wake up, make a move. It's going to cost you something to get something. You're not going to pull off these, well, in 2002, we signed everybody with money. Guess what, pal? There's a salary cap now, and you can't do that. You got to this promote from within is not working. You need to go out, and you need to make a push at a big-name defenseman. Jacob Trouba's contract is very reasonable. You give them what they want. I don't care if they want Danny DeKeyser, because to me, Trouba, DeKeyser, sure, you've invested a lot in him. He's a leader off the ice. Don't care. You need to win, and you need to win now. Make a move for Dougie Hamilton. We just saw him get 3 points the other night when the Calgary Flames were at the Joe. That's right, in a losing effort for the Wings. He had a point on every goal. Dougie Hamilton, he's young. He has upside. He can move the puck. Put him with Mike Green. Give up maybe a Gus Nyquist. Thank you. He's been invisible anyways. Where do I sign? Make a move. Something has to get done, and it has to get done before it's too late. If you're sitting here at Christmas time and they haven't made a move and they're still hovering around 5th or 6th in the division, smell you later, pack your bags, because the season's over and the Joe's going to get demolished, and the Red Wings, it's going to be the first year in my lifetime and in a lot of folks' lifetimes who root for this team that they've missed the playoffs and say goodbye. Up in flames, go the Joe and the season for the Red Wings.
Yeah. And what you were talking about with the power plays also. Let's look at these shots on goal. The ones, the November 2nd game against the Flyers. Flyers, 40 shots on goal. Wings, 25. Their power play, 0 for 1. There's just a few I have highlighted. A Canadian team who's super hot right now. They are at 14-3-2.
And the Wings have to welcome them to the comfy confines of the Joe this Saturday.
Yep. Shots on net, 37-25.
5-0 score. Just want to point that out.
And they had 5 power plays. How many scoring?
0.
Plays? 0 for 5.
Yeah, of course.
Ridiculous.
That one double minor when, can't think of who it was, Nielsen got cut. So automatic 4 minutes. They didn't have the puck in the offensive zone, the Red Wings that is, until the last 32 seconds of the power play.
Yeah.
What's happening? Let's just sit behind the net and wait for our guys to start moving. No, let's start moving now and try to get points, because when it comes April and you put together an 8-game win streak, it's going to be too little too late. Sorry about it.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And when I'm looking down this sheet of the last 9 games, and they have 0 for 3, 0 for 5, 0 for 3, 0 for 2. It's ridiculous, and you got to capitalize. And these are when you get a 4-minute power play like that, you know, you have the guys that are. It's a given. They have the talent. They're supposed to. These are the type of guys you trade for. So you get these instant goals, these automatic goals, whether it's 2 minutes or 4 minutes. It's an extra player. A lot of times you'll get lucky when they have, you know, one of the guys who's on the other team will break a stick, and you know you'll have that bonus. I was watching the game last night. They had a power play. One of the players, the high forwards, lost his stick, and they couldn't even capitalize with that. They had to pass it again. The guy with no stick is controlling the Wings power play, and it's ridiculous. It's embarrassing, and you just, like Nick said, shoot the puck.
Shoot the puck.
Yes.
Very simple. And to me, I would love to blame this on the coach, Jeff Blashill. Do I think he needs to light a fire under these guys? Yes. Motivate these guys. But the problem is he can't sit the guys to make a statement. Because who's he going to put in? Are you going to have to call up the entire Grand Rapids team?
Right.
They've already done it, and including the radio play-by-play announcer, Bob Kaiser. By the way, Bob, great play-by-play guy, filling in for the great Ken Cal, who's out with laryngitis for like 2 weeks. He has not called a winning game yet. I feel bad for the guy. Right. He's a curse. Great play-by-play announcer. Hasn't called a winning game. He will be on the call again Wednesday night in Buffalo. Ken Cal is expected to be back in New Jersey Friday. I really hope they can get Bobby a win on Wednesday. It has to start, because if they lose to Buffalo, they're in last place, because Buffalo's in last place. Yeah. So send help. We got the SOS flag flying high. Make a move. I don't care what you need to give up. I'm okay with it. If you got to give up Jimmy Howard, who's playing great, because let's face it, if you don't get rid of him and get something for him, he's gone in that expansion draft. Mm-hmm. So don't pull a Tigers and sit here idle. Well, if we're not going to trade Scherzer because we might get, he might resign. Guess what? He left. David Price, gone. These guys leave, and we get nothing. Here we are, rebuilding. Here we are, crying. Here we are, sad, yelling, heart rate high. It hurts. Can we please move on, Dan?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. The other team that I love, the Michigan Wolverines. Well, they're trying to mess with my heart. But, NSYNC once said, you better quit playing games with my heart. Was that Backstreet?
That was NSYNC. Wait.
All right. No.
Yeah.
All right. And they got it done in a snow bowl on Saturday against Indiana, 20-10. John O'Korn filling in for Wilton Speight looked pretty bad. Mm-hmm. But Davion Smith put the team on his back, led him to victory. And I saw a great picture. It was a shot of the game. And in the corner, it said 7 minutes, 24 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And it was fine. The weather was great. And then it said 1:24 left, fourth quarter. And it was completely snowed out, white, inches of snow on the ground. Maybe not inches, but completely covered in white. It's a difference in this picture, 6 minutes. Amazing. Friday in Michigan, 72 degrees. Saturday in Michigan, it's 30 and it's snowing. I loved watching that game in the snow, seeing the players do their snow angels and getting the win, and you couldn't even tell if they were in or out of bounds. It was great. It wouldn't have been great if Michigan would have lost to the Hoosiers like their little brother Michigan State did. However, they didn't, and it's setting up for a great matchup this Saturday at the Shoe in Columbus. Number 2 Ohio State versus number 3 Michigan State, and it's all on the line. This is it, folks. Mm-hmm. This is what we asked for. Ask, you shall receive. Noon kick. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it is. And it was eerily reminiscent of the Winter Classic, watching that snow come down, and that was a great game to watch. It definitely kept your attention. I don't know about you, but I was getting worried in the first couple quarters. I just didn't like how things were going, but they did pull it off, and it was too cool. Everyone's having fun at the big house, and they just got to bring their game. They got to be strong coming up this weekend. That's a huge, huge win if they can win that on the road. I believe Ohio State's 11 for 12 of the meetings.
Yeah.
So they got some weight. Michigan's got some weight on their back. They got to get off, but hopefully they can pull out the win. That'd be huge.
Oh, man,
huge for
really
Harbaugh. Huge for Michigan fans. Huge for just
and getting a spot in the Big Ten championship game. When they're in, they lose. They need. They can't. Yeah. But Penn State. Yeah, it's a crazy scenario. We'll paint it if it happens. Right now, top 8 consists of 4 Big Ten teams. Number 2, Ohio State. Number 3, Michigan. Number 6, Wisconsin. And number 8, Penn State. First time since 1956 they've had 4 teams even in the top 10. Now to have them in the top 8. What a time to be alive. Michigan State almost knocks off Ohio State for us. Couldn't quite pull it off. Mark D'Antonio goes for 2.
What'd you think? Gutsy call.
Yeah, well,
I got to give it to him.
He decided earlier in the week, I think it was Tuesday, that if it came down to it, he would go for 2. To me, yeah, your season's over on Saturday. It doesn't matter. You're not going to a bowl game. You might as well go big or go home. But when you have Ray Charles at quarterback, you pass it, did you see where his throw went?
He did.
He had a receiver, and then he had 2 defenders, and he threw it even outside of the 2 defenders, and it was picked off. Yeah. He was not rushed. Just sling it out there. That's a perfect example of their season. Yeah. Oh, it's great. But to me, if the team was a competitive team, which they're not, I would go into it with, I'm at home, I'm going to play for overtime, take my chances. On the road, you go for 2.
You're right.
You make a statement on the road. But at home, I kick and take my chances in overtime. But, oh well, can't redo it. Michigan State will travel to Happy Valley and Penn State on Saturday. And if they knock off Penn State, that's huge for Michigan. Huge for the Ohio State even as well. And I wouldn't be shocked if Michigan State goes out and wins.
Right.
Because they have no business doing it. That leads us now. Will Wilton Speight play for the Michigan Wolverines? He dressed. He took a full warm-up. Quarterback. Did not play. I think it's good that he didn't play, and they got the win. But now do I want him? Please. Come back. Wilton, we need you.
Yeah. You know, John O'Korn, those conditions, it was hard to operate in.
And our offensive line did not play well at all.
Exactly where I was going to go with that. They didn't play well at all. But in regards to what you were saying about Speight, I think if he's even close, he's going to play. It is not the shoulder that's hurt is not his throwing arm, so you know that's a lot. And if you've ever had that injury, I give him props for even just jumping and throwing the equipment on, because that is not a nice injury to have. It doesn't feel good. It's very unpleasant. So he's a tough dude, though. He's a big kid, and he'll be able to take it. He'll be able to make himself known on the field.
Dan had that injury when he was a quarterback at Specs Howard. Led him to 6 straight division titles. That's right. He spent 6 years there. Made it though, and here he is, live on the air.
Yeah, went for the Masters, you know.
Yeah, now he's Dr. Dan Myers. Let's see how the doctor does though this week with his picks. We got some games to choose from. Last week, you would not have wanted to get a prescription filled by him. He went 1-4 in our 5 games. I was not too much better, 3-2, but overall now you are 29-27. I am 32-24. It's going to have to be a big week here for us. First game, number 3 Michigan at number 2 Ohio State. College game day will be there. It's a noon kickoff, and Ohio State's favored by 6.5. Dan, who you got?
I'm going to go with. It really hurts me to do this.
No.
It really does.
Oh man, don't make me no.
And I'm looking at this from a silver lining. When Michigan wins, you'll get the points. I'll be happy that they won. But should they lose, at least I have a little bit of I won't even say it, but no, I'm going to go with OSU.
Okay, so you picked them who, don't say it. We got it. Can't say their name. I'll take Michigan.
Good.
That's right.
Good.
You can still trust me, America.
Yeah.
All right? You can trust me. I approve this message. Moving on. LSU, number 15, travels to Texas A&M, number 23 in the land. LSU favored by 5. Dan?
I go with LSU.
As do I. All right. Number 6, the Washington Huskies travel to their arch nemesis, the Washington State Cougars. Cougars just fell out of the top 25, were 23 before their loss to Colorado this past week. Washington also favored by 5. Who you got?
I got to go with Washington for sure.
As do I. As do I. MSU to Happy Valley to take on number 8, the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Nittany Lions favored by 12 in this one. Who do you got, Dan?
You know what? I'm gonna go with the upset. Let's go with
So am I.
Sorry, I wasn't reading your sheet, I swear.
But you know what? You probably can't read my writing anyway, so I actually believe you. I'm taking Michigan State in this one, too, with the points as well. And they could win outright, but they're getting 12 points, so I'm definitely going to take them. I think their seniors are going to be out. Riley Bulla, hopefully McDowell can play. It's going to be a good game. I think I'm actually going to do my best to tune in to watch the senior class go out and hopefully put up a good fight and help us out a little bit in any way they can. And that brings us to the final game of the night, the Iron Bowl. Auburn, number 14, travels to Bama, number 1. Bama favored by 17. Who do you got in this one?
I got to go with Bama.
You looked directly at my
I did, but I already
Alabama, but I'm going to let it slide because it is Alabama, and they could probably beat the Cleveland Browns.
You'd beat a lot of teams.
They could beat Jacksonville, who the Lions just beat yesterday. But, I'm taking Bama as well. Those are our picks, not yours. Stick around. We've got a lot more from this desk next.
What's up, man?
Oh, I need a haircut.
I just got mine done today.
Where'd you go?
Went to Rocco's. It's Chesterfield, about a mile east of 94 on 23.
Oh, how much do they charge?
It's $12. You can walk right in anytime. They're just closed on Sundays, I think.
Oh, $12? It might be worth the drive up there.
It really is. We'll go next time.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
If ever there's a reason to be swept up in the season of the falling rains, and if the days grew shorter and the darkness drew its order from the autumn gray, I'd rather sit this out and sleep the day away instead. Weary eyes a bit too slow and deep. I'd rather sit this out and sleep the day away instead, to worry about the emptiness that comes.
Welcome on back, my good friends. The Lions, first in the division for the second straight week. And hey, they actually had a game this week, and they're still in first. 6-4, they beat the hapless Jacksonville Jaguars, who are likely to fire their head coach, Gus Bradley. But hey, they've been saying that for the last 2 years, and he still has his job, so we're not sure. 26-19, the final from Ford Field. And it was not a pretty game. There was actually some pretty awful football this week. NFL kickers missed a record 11 extra points on Sunday. And that's not even entering the Monday night game between Houston and Oakland. But the Lions game was very ugly. Offense was abysmal. 6 straight drives with 3 and outs. Luckily for their special teams, Andre Roberts makes up for the muffed punt and returns one 55 yards for the touchdown. And then on the very next drive, Raphael Bush takes one 31 yards back to the house, an interception return. Lions defense and special teams owned in 7% of ESPN fantasy football leagues, folks, and they had 2 touchdowns. 6-4, the offense struggled. The wide receivers, Marvin Jones only had 1 catch. Golden Tate had 2 catches and a fumble loss. Help.
Yeah.
They got away with it because they played an awful team, and I'm still not sold on these Lions. I think they are just the best of the worst. There's a slew of teams who are just terrible, and I think the Lions just sit atop that really bad team group, and that's where they are. Could they win the division? Yeah, it's going to come down, I think, to the Thanksgiving game. They welcome the Vikings, who they just beat 2 weeks ago. If they beat them, they win. If not, they're gonna have to do some work on the road against the Giants, on the road against Dallas, the best team in the NFC. They still have Green Bay, who's still scary, although they're not doing well. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a struggle. They definitely need to play better on offense, because who would have thought their defense would have been the ones carrying them to this victory?
Right, exactly. And, you've probably heard of the term dumb luck, and for once that actually fell in favor of the Lions. That illegal formation at the end of the game really, it just pretty much, that was a little rest assurance that they were going to pick it up, but that whole game was just, it was a horrible game to watch. It just frustrating, and it had all the qualities of a angry, upset Lions loss for the fans. And, just forget about that one. Worry about the Thanksgiving game, and hopefully we can go from there. I got high hopes for them still. They do have some really big challenges that they got to get over, but I'm feeling pretty optimistic still, considering.
That's all you can do is be optimistic. I've been optimistic for the last 5 years. Stopped being optimistic 2 years ago, and now I've become a realist.
There you go.
It's the best thing you can do. You wake up and see all these Monday morning quarterback talk, and you just sit back and say, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because I don't, and it's great. And you know what else I don't care about? The Detroit Pistons. They're expected to announce their move downtown this week. Also a pretty bad idea, if you ask me. It just lowers ice quality for the hockey team. But will they get more people? Who knows? It's a cool concept. I'm going to miss the Palace, though. I really like the venue. But if the LCA is what they say, the district, it's going to be sweet. The Pistons' product they put on the field, pretty subpar this year. Everyone's saying this is their year. Mind you, they're without Reggie Jackson, their star point guard. Drummond missed a game, but they actually won it against Oklahoma City. They're 6-8, battling for a playoff spot, mind you, 6 months before the season's over. But they're pretty trash. They just can't get it done. They can't close out games, and they're being out-rebounded, and that's the real big problem there, is they have two of the biggest guys in the league, two of the best rebounding guys in the league, in Drummond, and then the big Romanian from the Spurs that they picked up, and not to mention Aaron Baines has been great. Marcus Morris can tear down some rebounds too. They're 6-8. They're 8th or 9th right now. I think they're tied. They got to start getting it done, mind you, very early, and something not a lot of people care about. But hey, there is a basketball team in this town.
Yeah, yes, there is. And you know what? The losses, they're not that bad. They're not getting blown out. If they could recover, get the rebounds and little things like that, there would be wins up on the board. It wouldn't be, what are they, 6-8 right now? It wouldn't be like that. It's just these little minuscule things that bite you in the end, and they really need to fix that. The losses that aren't that big, yeah, they've had some ugly ones, don't get me wrong. There's been some real ugly ones over stupid stuff, too. That's the problem. If they can fix this and Stan Van Gundy could just put this team together, they're just broken right now, and they just got to find this nucleus to get back together.
Stan needs to stop talking politics and start talking basketball.
Yeah.
College basketball, Michigan 4-0. They win the 2K Classic at Madison Square Garden this week, knocking off Marquette in impressive fashion, and then winning the final against SMU by 22 points. They're 4-0, sitting atop the Big Ten. Michigan State started 0-2, and then they've rebounded with wins against Mississippi Valley State. Huh?
That's a powerhouse
Florida
right
Gulf
there.
Coast, where the refs and everyone were against Florida Gulf Coast in this game. I don't know if you saw the end of that game where they inbounded the ball, and as soon as they inbounded it, they started running the clock, and they didn't overturn that call. They missed the shot anyways, but it was very one-sided officiating and technical-wise as well. Florida Gulf Coast losing to Michigan State 78-77 on Sunday. Michigan State's, this could be a struggle year for them in all sports, really. We'll see. But that's your basketball update. Hopefully we didn't lose too many viewers with that. Dan, any final thoughts?
Michigan State, wow. With Coach Izzo, he's a powerhouse. He's right up there with Krzyzewski and, name some of the greats. And for that, they did lose to a very tough Kansas team, I believe. They were ranked. It was for a tournament game. They've even given the number one team, Duke, a loss. So with that, you can't really hang your head on that game.
Duke moved to 6, by the way, in the UAP. Kentucky's your new number 1. Michigan State will play your Duke Blue Devils coming up next Tuesday. That should be a blowout.
Hopefully.
I'm rooting for a Duke in that game because why not? Yeah, did you hear that? We may be shut down
Honorary
off the air.
Blue Devil right there. I'm getting him his jersey today.
Let's not get carried away. You know what? If I finally hit this shot, get me a jersey and I'll support it live on the airwaves. If not, well, you can still get me one for Christmas coming right up around the corner. For Dan Myers, I'm Nick Buckler saying, see ya.
Go Blue.